Well, it was hijinks and fun and games for Bill today. I spent the morning out, so when I got home, he was feeling very frisky. One of the things I wanted to talk about with Bill today is that he's always been very steady. He was gelded before I got him, and he must have been gelded probably somewhere around 1 year of age. I'm only speculating. But he still has all the thoughts and emotions and feelings that go with being a stallion. And over the years, he's displayed a lot of stallion-type behaviours. And I think Bella's probably encouraged him a fair bit to display stallion-type behaviours. Anyway, he's just playing today. But one of the reasons that he's feeling so frisky is that Bella's in season, and she's been encouraging him to act out. In the first year, when we first got Bill, initially, like I've said many times before, he was very shut down, starved and near death. But as he started to get better and grow and develop, a number of different behaviours started to set in. One was the desire to escape. Two was territorialness. He became very territorial and started to challenge challenge other animals, patrol the fence line. He became surly towards men in particular. And we eventually worked out, after piecing together some of Bill's story, that he'd been abused by men. So as he got older, he had a real disrespect and dislike of men. So there was a lot of little quirks that came out over a period of time. So as Billy matured, we noticed that there was a pattern, and the pattern involved Bella. So whenever Bella was coming into season, he was fine, but when she got close to that ovulation period, he would start to court her. Now, she actively encouraged him, so I don't know how much of his steadiness was because of her encouragement and how much was natural for him. But it got to the point where when he got to about 4 years of age, she was actively encouraging him to mount her, much to our surprise, because up until that point, it never ever occurred to me that geldings would ever try to mount and mate a mare. I thought that was all done once they were castrated. So one of the things that we found with Bill was that when Bella came into her season, especially in the spring, so the first cycle was particularly important to him, and she would actively court him, flirt outrageously, play all the courtship games with him, and he would act exactly like a stallion. He would herd her, snake around, he would court her, love her up, and do everything that he needed to do. And of course, at the end, they would mate. And not fully, but he certainly went through all the actions, and we were absolutely shocked. So I started to worry after talking to a number of people who said, oh, he must be a rig and have a retained testicle. And so I seriously considered that and needed to check to see what was going on. So anyway, I had to do some fairly close inspections to see if there was any scars. Unfortunately, I saw on both sides that he had been castrated properly and fully. So I rang the vet to find out what was going on, and the vet explained to me that even though he had his testicles removed, he was still born a male, thought like a male, had actively been an entire male for the first year or so of his life, and for all intents and purposes, he was going to behave like a male. And the other interesting thing was that this only ever happened on the first or the second cycle of Bella's season. After that, he never showed any interest in actually mating her, but he would go through courtship rituals with her on a regular basis. And in this video today, he is doing what we regard as some of his courtship processes. Yes, he loves to play and hoon around, But Bella is actively encouraging him. And look, when he doesn't succeed, he gets frustrated. And I think I may have got it towards the end. But what Bill will do when he's really frustrated, he will swing around and nip at his sides and kick. So he will self mutilate when he's frustrated, when he's super frustrated because he can't continue on as an entire male because he's not entire, he's castrated. And it's something that we've observed with him for quite some time over. And it only ever happens, as I said, when Bella is in season and she's cycling and he can't do anything about it. So we've watched the pattern over the years. The first time he ever did it, I thought he had colic. And I ran out to the paddock like a mad woman, threw a halter on him and was trying to drag him round to keep him going. And then I realised that he wasn't having any colic symptoms. And so that left me mystified. So there were a lot of little clues along the way to figure out what was going on with Bill. Now, one of the issues that I do have is that he's not needy like she is. Like, I could quite successfully take him out if I wanted to, but she is super clingy, and he takes his responsibility as herd leader very seriously. So at some point, I'm going to have to deal with this issue if I'm ever going to take him out on the trails. For example, Bill has really strong guarding instincts when it comes to Bella. When Bella got sick a few years ago, she got bitten by some sort of mosquito that caused very similar symptoms to Ross River virus, and she went down like lightning, and we had to call out the vet in an emergency. The first time we ever really got off Bill's guarding behaviour towards Bella was when the vet came out and came into the stable, and Bella decided that she wanted out. And even though she was very sick, she turned and squealed and tried to get herself out. And that was it. That set Bill right off. And he charged around to the gate and virtually limboed under the gate that we had, or railing, I should say, to get through to get to her. And I was 95% blind at the time. So I had to block him. Unfortunately, he will never run me over. And I managed to grab him with my hands, and then someone gave me a halter and I got him out. And we stood there, and while the vet and Kel held on to Bella and the vet tended to Bella. So we know that he has really strong guarding instincts. We've watched him chase other animals out away from her. We've watched him go the dog when he thought that Bella was trying to, when he thought the dog was going to hurt Bella. So we've seen this really strong protective instinct that he has. It all comes down to the fact that he still acts like an entire male, even though he's castrated. And one way or another, we've got to find a solution, which may be to bring in another mare or a companion or of some kind for Bella, so that I can eventually take him out and give him the mental stimulation that he really needs.